Yeah, episode 6, man. We got one of the good homies in the building, man. We've been wanting to set this episode up for a minute now, and I think before we even started the podcast, we were talking about getting you, and we got to get Ray in here, and we got to get him,
absolutely.
Working Class. So
Mr.
Working Class, Mr. Working Class himself, man. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for bringing me out. I appreciate it,
man. Nothing 100%. Like some AM beers and fucking, nice little AM.
Hey, they don't know what time it is, man.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Right.
5 a.m.
Right. 5 a.m. and shit, dog.
Big shout out to Ziggy's, man, for letting us shoot us in here, man. It's a dope spot. If you haven't been in here, you know what I mean, make sure you check that spot out. But for people that don't know you, man, let us know a little bit of something about yourself, who you are, what we're doing.
For sure. My name is Ray Cruz. I'm the co-owner of Working Class Cultura. I was born in Maryville Hospital.
Maryville in the building.
Maryville in the building. I was, I lived with my parents. It was my house, but my parents had a house on 71st Avenue area right there, 73rd, and Heather Bray, which now that same house, it was a corner house, but if you go there now, the school bought it out, so it's a classroom.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
So it's this cul-de-sac, and half of the cul-de-sac is bought out, and they're all classrooms, and then it just turns back into the neighborhood again.
No
that's
shit.
Dope.
Yeah.
So spaced out and bought out. That's dope.
That's trippy.
Dope.
Yep.
Oh,
so
shit.
from there, man, my family, they moved over to Alhambra area, which is where I live now. I've been born and raised. Oh, I don't want to say born, right? I was raised there.
Yeah.
I stay off of between 35th and 43rd, Camelback and Bethany area.
Hell yeah.
I've pretty much been there my whole life, man.
Hell yeah.
So you growing up, were you an only child, or you have?
I have siblings. So I have a daughter. I have a sister.
Gotcha.
And then I have an adopted brother.
Okay.
Yeah. Meaning he was like a best friend.
Got you.
And then as years went, right, he kept staying the night and staying the night and staying the night. And
I think we all had
one.
Yeah. And then days turned into weeks, and then finally it was like my mom was like, you know what? I need to go talk to his parents because
he's already over here every day. We're feeding him every night. He
didn't want to go home.
That's what happened with Sonny. Remember my brother with Sonny? That was my brother's best friend. R.I.P. to Sonny and shit. But he literally would stay, and I think his parents lived in Phoenix, and we obviously lived in Avondale. And he would stay at night so much that my dad was like, I ain't taking him home. He just needs to stay at night. Yeah. And then after that, he started staying and bringing clothes.
He was like, your parents are buying clothes for him.
No, he was. We're fighting. We're fighting at the house. If he needs to go, I'll tell him. My mom, he needs to go.
Yeah, they were like, no, you need to go. Yeah, because he lived in Dupavilla Projects, which is on 16th Street,
right.
And he would ride his bicycle. We all have BMX bikes and stuff, so he'd ride his bicycle over with his backpack and the stuff, and he'd stay for a while. And then, like I say, man, at some point he asked. My mom was kind of like, hey, what's my mom and my dad. I had both my parents, and they were like, what's going on? Like, he's staying, and we noticed. And then finally, I'm like. He's trying to stay, and then we all, we had a little talk about it. So my mom was like, we're going to go talk to his parents, bring them over here, his mom. And they sat him down, and they were like, are you good with us just keeping him pretty much? And she was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, no. And then he just, I could say for about, 5 years or so, he lived with us.
Yeah.
That's
now,
cool,
for those that you don't know, Working Class, I feel, is like one dope-ass clothing out here, if you don't know, you know what I'm saying, was something... was clothing or just the cultura part, was that something that was started as a young age and then grew until now, where it seems like you put, everywhere I wear this, because I own a tile business too, whether I'm in the streets partying, they're like, hey bro, that's dope as well. Where'd you get that? Just to have the working class culture, that's what it means. Was that something that came along? Were you always trying to get into clothing and stuff like that too as a young age?
I started off as a laborer, as a worker, right? So I worked hard my whole life. I didn't graduate high school or any of that. It's like, what do you do, So I became a laborer. I worked real hard. I bought a house. I bought a townhouse when I was 18 years old.
Got you.
When I bought the house that I live in now when I was 22 years old. So I originally had a partner before it was just Working Class Clothing.
Got you.
Okay. That partner, me and him, he was just, man, kind of like my right-hand man. We just built, we thought we were invincible. Like, hey, we're just going to remodel the kitchen this weekend, and we're going to pour all this concrete and build a patio, and then we're also building cars and trucks and stuff, right? Okay. So, we're over here busting our butts all day at work, coming out of work, grabbing some beer, headed home, pop open the garage. Yeah. Put another 5-6 hours on this truck, working on it all night, and we're just, chopping it up, and we're like, hey, we were kind of like, we were young and arrogant. We were like, there's nobody like us, and we're just these tough guys and this and that. And then so we ended up deciding, let's do the clothing. So we did that from 2006 to 2012, and so it was kind of like a 2006 to 2011, 10. At some point, the license that like they were only like good for like 6 years or something. That expired. So then, so that lapsed, and then when the Instagram stuff and everything popped off, my nephew Frankie, which you guys know, he was like, "Hey, Uncle Ray, you got to bring it back. We got to bring it back." He just kept bringing it, And then finally, he's like, "I'm like, well, we do it. We're gonna do it together. It's not gonna be the same because we got to change the name."
Yeah,
got you.
So at the time, I used to be pretty tight with this clothing brand. That it was a store that was in Uptown Whittier, named Low Down and Dirty. So Low Down and Dirty they used to say Low Down and Dirty Familia all the time, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, let's do the Familia, and which I liked it, but I didn't want to. I didn't like. To me, I'm like, if there's a reason that you even have to question it, then it's not. To me, it's just a no go. And I'm like, bro, I think that they're gonna take it weird if we throw the Familia on it. It looks like we're already messing with them.
Yeah.
All this stuff. So
it's gonna feel like you guys kind of stole their little style a little bit or something.
Right. So then we were like, well, what are we, man? We're we just kept like, what is the whole point and this and that? And then we're like, cultura, man. Like, well, we said culture, right? We're like, culture. I'm like, well, shit, if we say culture, like, let's do cultura. Yeah. And I was like, it's kind of who we are, like, Spanish and English and this, it mixes it all up.
That's what makes it make sense, though.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it, man. I think it's dope. I think it like incorporates not just, a lot of brands kind of go favor just Mexicans. I feel this year's is for everybody.
Absolutely.
There's mechanics and skateboarders and BMX riders and obviously low riders and Mexicans and everything, business owners. But it's dope that it's like multicultural. It doesn't just have to be one race. It's for everybody.
And I feel like at the end of the day, who's not working hard?
Yeah, who's not in the working class, normal blue collar 9 to 5 type hard worker?
Like you said, every walk of life can relate to this. Compared to some clothing brands that are just like money based or that are, you know what I'm saying? And then you have somebody that's not a money driven person and they're like, bro, I don't want to wear this shit.
Now, was there any fucking I know, like, because we've done merch before and you go through different ones. Was there like trial and error where you did, like, you started trying to print your own?
Bro.
Usually people do the what are those heat pressed ones, like where you peel the stickers but then you watch them, they come out.
Most people don't know this, but our first run, at this point, I'm gonna tell you, like, we did a few runs and then we broke out with them. All right, hey, we're gonna do a first vending. We started off with hats, but when we transitioned out of hats into T-shirts, our first run was at a show called the Lithography Show.
Okay.
So when we did the show, I had my buddy I ordered some shirts from him. I had another dude bringing me some shirts. I had all these different, and I made like 500 stickers, like a few, and we'd already sold some shirts.
So the shirts that you had that night, they were from like different
printers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't until this guy came back to buy some more shirts, because I was letting people come to my house and stuff at the time, right? I was just trying to get it out. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, oh, you did it on purpose. And I'm like, I'm playing it cool, I'm like, yeah, did it on purpose. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you put the I and the L, you switch the I and the L on purpose. And then I was like, and he's wearing the shirt, and I'm looking at it. So where it said build, it was BULID. And then, bro, he's telling me, and all I could think about is like, I'm like, I got like 300 shirts and 500 stickers.
You're all fuck.
And like, I wanted to end the conversation that second and just start calling on my printers to be like, hey, have you guys already printed them? You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's talking to me, and this dude was talking about, like, in that moment, it was like my lifetime.
Yeah.
Like,
it seemed like it kept going on and on and on. You're like, dog, I gotta end this shit.
Like, bro, I was sweating. Like, my leg was like pumping because I was just like, oh my God, man, I can't believe there's no way.
Yeah.
So I hit them both up. They're like, Ray, they're done. They're done. The shirts are done. And then I look at my stickers, they're all misspelled.
Yeah.
So I called my friend up who was in the business already for a while, and I'm like, hey,
I need a favor,
what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, what would you do, right? And like, this is 10 years ago, so the pay was different, but I'm like, I'm hundreds of dollars invested in this thing.
Gotcha.
Like, I go, I want to just give them all away and not sell them to anybody. And he's like, send me a picture. And then my buddy shows up, who's a tattoo artist. And he's like, hey, what happened? I told him, like, bro, all the shirts. And he's like, let's go to the Michaels. So we go to Michael's, and at the time they were just black and white shirts, right?
Gotcha.
So he buys a black, I can't remember what, like a material canvas pen, marker, and a white one. And he's like, bring the shirt over here. So he gets it, and he dots out the I, and then he takes out the L.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, it's the same. Like, you're good. There's 2 lines now. You know what I mean? It's an I and an L.
For these shirts.
Or he just slides it over. He just puts the L over. He turns the I into the L, and then he's like, look, man, let's just see how it goes. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put them for $15, and then I'll let, if anybody figures it out or they question it, I'll just be like, here, I'll just give you another shirt because I already know the next one's gonna be right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we sold out. We sold out all the shirts. I was like, first day.
I think I probably would have just left it, dog, and just acted like we kind of did it on purpose.
Those might be worth more money right now. Like those are exclusive. Like
that's what I'm saying.
When the Supreme dropped it, they fucking those are exclusive.
It's the misprint. And then when you sell it on the fucking website, it's the Working Class misprint. Yeah, original misprint tee. You know what I'm saying? Where motherfuckers are like, hey, dog, that was your first. It's almost like Burner with the original cookies.
Yeah.
The first ones with the blue, you know what I'm saying? The lace colored fucking.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you go back and look at it now, you're like, dog, those were hard, dog. Or, dog, those are the first ones. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would be seeing people at the shows and be like, shaking, like, hey. And then in my mind, it's like, oh, man.
Yeah,
they got the misprint shirt on.
I think that's the artist in you. I think, you know, and the same shit, like, you know, us as, like, you know, the business owner, the artist, making sure everything's perfect to where, like, you over critique everything. You know what I'm saying? But I think in the grand scheme of things, like, it's not that serious, like in a sense, you know, compared to the consumer side of it, like, you know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. Like it took us to do the podcast. It took us forever to do it because we wanted to. We want to find the right camera guy, and we want to find the right places to shoot. And then after a while, we found a cameraman, and it kind of fell into place. Now it's just like, now I feel good, man. We should have started this shit 2 years ago when we first started talking about it. But now it's, you know, things are flowing, and that's just how it goes.
I feel like we're perfectionists. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that we do, and it's like, I don't want to fail doing it, so we want to do it at our best ability and our best, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's where that comes into play, is like we're just trying to, but also some shit, like you said, you gotta get your foot in the water and go. Maybe the first foot, you know, the first step might not be the best, but once it gets rolling and once it gets going, you'll be straight, bro.
Yeah,
like you just
absolutely.
Like
No, and I know, and just because we've been, you know, dealt with clothing and stuff, do you have designers? Are you the sole designer of the stuff, or do you do collabo tees, or
a little bit of everything? I could say, so we do a lot of creating where we create our own ideas, right? But like, I can't draw, bro. Like, I write chicken scratch. You know what I mean? If I could show you some of the. This is where it started, like, this is what we're looking for, but then we know a style. So I know that you have a style. I know you have a style. So it's like, who do I want to carry out that vision, right? And that style. So
exactly.
We get that. So we have a lot of artists that we work with. I mean, Folk did a design for us. You know what I mean?
Shout out Folk, TMK, man. He gets shout out every episode.
First
it was the car. First it was the bomb. Now it's the logo.
And I can relate to what you're saying because I do the same with album covers.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that.
Every album cover I've did, it's always been a different artist or a different. So like the vibe of the album, I'm like, okay, and I kind of like envision.
Tell them what you want. I want this and that, like, and then they come with the couple.
And then I pick which artist that I know like that will carry out that vision the best instead of choosing this one that does this style or this one that does it this, like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I relate to you on that, and that's smart, you know what I'm saying? And it keeps your designs different. It's instead of like having one designer and then that one designer, like all your designs are all kind of similar instead of having that different where you got different, you know, different vibes, different. I think that's better,
because
you know, like in a sense,
and then it almost like looks like it's their brand. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like, and then as you guys know, like, you know, especially when you get involved in money and partnership and stuff, it's like, well, hey, like, what do I do if a guy comes and tells me, hey, no, I'm a partner in this? And you're like, no, you're not. You're my designer. And he's like,
that's it.
Well, look at the face of this. You know what I mean? Every shirt is my design. Every this. And you're like, so that's why I like to try to mix things up as well, so that there's a clear line that, like, you know, there's like this is a business thing, not a partnership thing.
Yeah,
you know
got
what I mean?
you.
Was there ever because we've had it before with AVP. You know, obviously we're Avondale Production, Young Fee and G-Moe, so our stuff is copywritten and stuff like that.
Yep.
But is there other working class? Because it happened with like the bounce back with the podcast. There's other ones.
Yeah.
But there's plenty. Is there other working class?
Yeah, there's plenty of working class.
You know what I'm saying? That you kind of compete with. That you're just like, damn. You know, it looks the same, but it's not the same. You know, or if it's another state, but it's not here.
People say to me all the time. You know, the word working class has been around for a long time, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but that's why we add, like I tell people, as long as it's not the working class cultura, as long as it doesn't hit the whole 100%, then I don't really bother with it. It doesn't really stress me, you know, because it's like, you know, they can use it for anything, whatever, you know.
Yeah. I think working class is just a worldwide term, like
Correct.
of just as the hard working man, and that's why I said in the beginning, like that's something that you can very easily relate to. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, everybody, bro. It's smart, you know, like. And I like that.
We've had a couple of designs that were done literally exactly. They just changed up the words and stuff, you know, and it's a trip.
That's
but
crazy.
I don't really super stress about it. You know, I've seen them, and I mean, without sounding negative, but most of the time they just kind of burn out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't really trip on it.
Now, we were one of the lucky ones to kind of be like, sponsored by you guys, where you give us clothes for shit to wear and stuff. Is there any other artists you mess with out here in Arizona you want to shout out that you do give them clothes and stuff to wear that you know?
Yep. Las Calacas, they're a band.
Shout out to them. I just seen them. They just did the Phoenix Suns, right? The halftime show or something like that.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to
they
them.
just
They're
dropped
dope,
a
bro.
video called Mi Gente. It just, I think it's like 137,000 views right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's taken off. It did real good. You know, they were my friends first.
Yeah.
Right.
You know how most good relationships work out,
for sure.
and then just pretty much sponsor them.
Yeah.
And then, and it's not a one way. They sponsor me too.
Yeah.
Even though they don't say that, but they do. They look out for me just as much as I try to look out for them.
That's good.
It's just a real friendship.
They're
you know?
unique
For
out
sure.
here. I feel like they're a different type of band or whatever.
Yep.
You know, they're
Yep.
definitely different, unique. I like their shit. They're dope. They're dope for sure.
Yeah, it's like a cumbia fusion kind of like band, so it's cool.
No, and it's dope because it's like, I feel like the people that you do, it's like we feel blessed at the times because they're like, hey, damn, no, you guys are fun. We're like, yeah,
For
bro, they
sure.
hooked us up. And I've met a lot of people just through you wearing the shirt. They're like, hey, that's my partner or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's the homie too. He
Yeah,
kinda sponsors us.
anytime I wear a working class shirt, no matter whether it's on a Friday night and I'm going with my family
with
to
us,
Texas Roadhouse, and somebody, hey bro, I know they tell me they either know or they like it or they
like
look
it.
you like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Hey, bro,
Even
like
myself, man, it kind of trips me out because, like I tell wife, like men don't just come up to men and be like, "Hey, bro,
Nice shirt. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kinda
Yeah.
You know." And I go, even when I wear and I go places or other people tell me that all the time. They're like, "Man, so many people come up to me about the shirt," and I'm like, it makes me feel good when I hear, or when people come to like, "Man, where do you get that shirt at?" You know, and they ask me,
Yeah.
and it kind of trips me out because I mean, like I say, I kind of do it a little bit now, but I never really ever like nobody when I wear anything else, nobody asks me that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I do got a quick funny story about sponsoring though. So before the drummer that's in Fayuca, or excuse me, Las Calacas was in this band called Fayuca.
Yeah.
So we got these drums made for him, right? Full blown, branded out, like they're badass drums, custom made by this company named Love Customs Drums or something. So then he calls me. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna quit the band." Right?
Yeah, motherfucker, we just got these
Yeah, hell
drums made
no.
for you, dog. You ain't quitting yet, dog. You ain't quitting yet.
And then so he leaves. You know, friend Ray was like, "Oh, I'm here to support whatever you think," but business Ray was like, "Man,
Come on.
bro, I am not lying to you when I tell you, when he officially quit the band, the following week, that band opened up at the Dodger Stadium, and they're like, the news, like, it's like the Dodger Stadium, the drums, but not him playing, not the drums that we just bought, like, and I'm just looking like this. I'm like, man,
Like,
should have been our drums.
right?
That was the purpose right now. Like, that was the
Yo,
moment.
turn this shit off,
Yeah.
dog. Right? Like you watch this shit right now.
That's all bad, man.
Let me ask you this, bro. So somebody that's tuning in that never heard of you before and they're like, man, I like that. I like working class. You know, I work and this and that. I want to get one of these tees. How can they get a hold of one of your tees, or how do you have a website, or do you have go ahead and tell me like how?
Yeah, the absolute best way to get a hold of a T-shirt is through the webpage. It's just workingclasscultura.com. Through there, I could tell you that I think there's 7 pages. There's sweats. There's all the sweats are all on Champion. All the hoodies. the crew necks, there's jackets, there's button ups. They're all Champion. All of our T-shirts on there are all the heavyweight Shaka brands. On there. So the webpage is loaded, man. It's what it's called. We call it a drop ship.
Gotcha.
So I have another company actually run it.
Yeah.
They do all the packaging, printing, shipping, everything. So
just go straight to your door.
It's a process. It's not Amazon. You know, they pretty much open up orders from the week before. Every Monday we cash them out.
Yeah.
We go over everything, and then they start the process of ordering what the week before is won. Then coming in, then printing it, then packaging it. So it takes about 2 weeks or so to get your shirt.
Gotcha. I think a lot of upcoming brands do that to where it's not like people just have a lot of shit on deck now.
Yeah.
It's more of like made as you order type shit. And I think like as an upcoming businessman that, you know, you're working with a certain amount of budget and whatnot, you know, you got millions to play with, so you got all this fucking shit to where it's like, it just makes more sense.
Well, people
doing
don't understand.
That, you know?
I think I'm pretty sure your order is a lot bigger than ours, but we would order shirts by like the 100.
Yeah.
And we were getting them for, let's say, $10, you know?
Right.
That's $1,000, but then we would fly through them. So we're like, you know what, we're going to order 300.
Right.
We ordered 300. Now it's 3 G's into it. Now those ones didn't move so fast.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting like 200 shirts.
100.
And we're like, and he's like, well, let's throw some out at the show. I'm like, bro, we're losing money now.
You're like,
you know what I mean?
You're me. You're like this. Every time you throw, you're like, $10 bill.
Let me
$10 bill.
No, I want to make sure I find the right person that's gonna wear it. You know, some people get the shirt, they just toss this shit. But no, that's how it works, man. And people don't understand the investment because sometimes you're sitting there, you're like, damn, but this the shirt. You sold 50, you go make 100, and then nobody calls you. You're like, only sold 8 out of that 100. You're like, man.
Everybody asks me, they're like, how come you don't have stickers so much? And I'm like, they don't know because in my mind I'm like 30 cents.
30 cents. Yeah.
30 cents. You know what I mean?
And to go, and it's dope because I do like we have stickers, but I give them to like the people that I know that are gonna put them up somewhere dope or like at the barber shops and stuff. Because some people
Stanley that you know is gonna be somewhere. Right.
I used to give them to my son, and he's like 14 at the time, giving them to his friends, probably just putting them somewhere. And I'm like, nah, we got to give them the right way. You know?
Yeah, they're expensive, man.
Now, how do you feel with? Because obviously, you know, we're a little older, all of us. Like, how do you feel with the new times? Do you feel hard to competing and making different like type stuff for the kids or cuts? Because now they want the vintage dark gray that like a faded shirt. They want holes in them or stuff. Is that something that's hard for you to kind of like maneuver through?
Yeah,
you know?
it's challenging. I think that like I embrace it. I think it's cool though, man. I mean, like, so you know, obviously there's stuff that I would never wear.
Yeah,
but
but your consumers were
for sure.
And I feel like now I feel like the Chicano culture is at an all-time high right now.
For sure.
I feel there's 21-year-old kids that never grew up, and which is nothing wrong, but they grew up with that way. They didn't grow up that way, but they like it. They like the culture. They like the Dickies and all that. So they would love your stuff to wear. So you got to pertain to like both eras. You know what I'm saying?
And I try to protect the brand that way, right? Like, and I'm not talking about anybody at all. Like, you know, there's drop ships that you can just get your logo and put it on everything. Like you can put it on a pencil and a coffee mug and a backpack and a right. And then like, but to me, I'll go like my opinion of that is like, then that's not my brand. That's just my logo. And I'm allowing the consumer to choose what they want, and I don't want that. I want to have a specific genre, or I want to choose the items that we printed on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to protect it in that way, and then I go like, I take into mind that there's a younger crowd and upcoming, and the designs. They like our last design, our 10-year shirt was really popular, and I think it was popular because it hit a lot of that younger crowd because they like it more. I can't think of the word, but where it's just like pieces everywhere, right? It's like a collage, right? A lot of the newer shirts I notice are like real collagey or a lot of colors.
Yeah, or big. They've got them blasted everywhere on the sides of the arms. You know.
So I take a lot of that stuff into consideration, but I still try to keep the roots of our brand.
Yeah, that's dope.
You know, I also, you know, I know that, there's just different genres and ages on it, but it's challenging, bro.
And our kids too. You have kids, right? How many
I got 3 kids. I have a 27-year-old. I have a 4-year-old, and then I have a 14-year-old.
Yeah, so now you got to catch up with the times with them too, because my son's 17, his daughter's getting older, so my son is like, nah, that ain't it, Pa, don't wear it. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, nah, that ain't you, man. You know my style, my son's got the bowling and stuff right now, and I love it, but sometimes I tell him, he's like, nah, you don't know, Pa, that's not it. And I'm like, okay, I'm wearing old stuff, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
I feel the same way about you, dog. Like, some of the shit you do is not it, man. But I think that's just as us getting older, you know, and you're not saying stuck in our era because, you know, we evolve. but you only evolve so much. You know what I'm saying? And then these kids, they got their era, and that's evolving, and it's just like the clash of the titans. You know, you got two different worlds that are trying to fucking. But I think that's the hard part about a clothing brand is that like trying to maintain the authenticity of you and your brand.
Absolutely.
But then at the same time, like trying to reach more of a, you know, the goal is to get successful off this, to have a lot of people fucking buy your shit and to make money and to be able to keep it going. So it's like, you know, to reach a broader crowd, but at the same time, still, like you said, keep it going.
Like,
you know, like,
I like, you know, it's not death is not funny, but it's like, if I stick with my age group, then all my customers are just gonna pass away. You know what I mean? Like, so
everybody.
I gotta try to keep it going, but still, like you say, keep the authenticity of it. So, and that's keeping true to yourself and your, you know, like what your vision is of what you had in there. You know.
How's your family? Do they support you a lot? Like us, because we got full support. So with us as aspiring, you know, artists, always, you know, some people, some parents or family, they hate on you, or they're like, man, this guy ain't no rapper, or he's not a clothing guy, or he's not like, you know, do they support you fully and everybody with your family, your neighborhood and shit like that? You know,
I'm absolutely happy you asked me that, man. I'll tell you that my family, my I'm talking about my home, my base, my wife, my kids, everybody. The one thing I had to remind myself is this isn't their dream, right? This isn't what they want to do, and I'm dragging them through waking up at 6 a.m. to be at a show that starts at noon, that's not over till 9 o'clock to not get home, right? Like, we're like circus people, you know what I mean? We're like gypsies, right? We go and we show to the show, and we create, like, well, you know, when I go to the show, it's just land, and I create this pop-up in this space, and I treat it like it's my little block. You know what I mean? Like,
bro. You have
I get defensive when people get close to me, you know, like, and everything. I'm like, nah, this is my spot. And then I watch the whole show come back till it's nothing, till it's just back down again, and then we're driving off. And they're the ones who are patient to that. You know, they're the ones who are like allowing, you know, when I'm like, hey, I need to go to this meeting at whatever tonight, or I got to do that because I'm sharing my life with them. But then it makes me share it with the company, you know. And man, I tell you, my wife and my kids have supported me so much, man. They've been there. They've helped me package shirts. You know, my nephew is my partner, man. He's like the motivation. He's always pushing me and him, and you know, it's a lot of different stuff. And our immediate family love it.
I think a support system is always needed, bro, and everything, whatever you did. Our parents, his wife, my baby moms, everybody's always supported. My own son right now, he's always telling his friends about, hey, my dad's doing this and stuff. So I think that's like a big factor. I think it's
a blessing.
It's a big blessing for sure. For someone to believe in your dream as much as you believe in your own dream, you know what I'm saying? For sure. So
one of the coolest things that happened, like, you know, I had the opportunity to be on, you know, I've been on the news and all these TV shows and stuff, but recently I was on the New Times, the newspaper, and without like trying to sound super bad, you know, I didn't when it was told to me, and I did it and I loved it, but I didn't understand it, right? And I was like, kind of like, who still reads the newspaper, you know?
Right.
And then my father-in-law, who's 87 years old, my mother-in-law, actually, it was her. She calls me like 6 a.m. on a Sunday. And she's like so excited, bro. And I could tell you that call from her and my father-in-law, like, made it feel like everything to this point was worth it.
And it's good. That's dope.
I was like, that's who reads the paper still. You know, like that's who still watches the news. That's still who does. And I was like tripping, like, I don't know. It just made it all make sense to me.
That makes me feel, because I watch the news. Like, that's like when I get up in the morning, you know, like say during the week for the kids for school, I wake up, wake the kids up, I walk into my living room, I turn my TV on, I put it on the news, and then even half the time I'm not even watching it. I just got it out, like I'm listening to, like it's like the radio or something, you know?
And
I do that shit all the time.
Then you hear a shooting down the street, you're like, hold on, let me go see who it was.
Shooting.
Even if I still like go to your mom's, they always got the news on or something. I do that, but I do ESPN, and I'm just.
My kids, they always make fun of me of it too. They're, Dad, turn this shit off, Dad.
No, and there's a lot of people that don't watch news these days. It's crazy.
They're getting
like
it from their phone,
or they're the apps now. Like, there's rare people that don't switch off and just go to channel 3, 5, 10, 12, and 15 anymore. Like when we did, or watch channel. We used to have channel 45. I don't know if you remember that back in the day. You played the Suns on that shit.
Yeah.
Like I used to watch that. Ain't nobody getting off Netflix or their smart TV to go to normal TV. It's the truth and shit. So they hardly get to see the news. Or I never see newspapers like when you used to wake up in the morning and you would go outside. There would be a paper. Someone was throwing the papers. Bro. Ain't no paper. Well, we don't get them. I don't even think we get West Valley View no more.
I think you have to pay now.
Yeah.
I think
West Valley View.
I think you have to pay now.
It took me like 3 places to go to just to find the one I had. That was in. Yeah.
You're trying
I'm going to I'm going to Circle K, and they're like, I'm like, this still says for Friday, and they're like, oh yeah, well whenever they get here, you know what I mean?
That's how I feel like when I do a lot of jobs up north and shit, like not like in Scottsdale or whatever, and the McDonald's are the self-pays, right? And I'm still trying to like tell them like, but no, I don't want no ketchup, and don't like, and then you just got to do it online, and it literally comes. They're like, order, you know what I mean? I'm like, dang, I didn't even talk to nobody. I just literally did the computer shit. That's just the way it is. The future.
Yeah, it's the future.
That's crazy, man.
For sure.
Let me ask you. I noticed the rings, dog. Those motherfuckers are big and fucking. Those are sick. Dog, like you got those custom made, or you got those?
So our company one was made by a company named Street Evil. He did the Billiard Dreams, and he did the Working Class Cultura around it. It was a it's kind of like a gift to myself.
Let me see it,
bro. That shit's tight. Was that silver?
Yeah, this one's silver.
It's fucking heavy too, bro. This shit is. And then got the Working Class around it and shit. That's hard, bro. And you said the people that made this, they're out of here, or they're out of...
This particular one is out of San Diego.
San Diego?
Yes, yep. A guy named Gar. Street Evil is the name of his company.
That shit's hard, bro. It's like... It reminds me of like my shit, bro. It's just like a custom work of art, you know? Like it's like where it's like...
Let me see.
Do you ever get like... I noticed with mine, like I don't like wearing it all the time because it's fucking just like it's it's sometimes you're going in and out of your pocket and you're fucking, you know what I'm saying, like
I don't wear it I only wear it when I go out and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm the same.
We're all like 3 different people. We're dad. You know what I mean? And we're like,
what are we doing today? Are we in dad mode? Are we in
exactly?
We in fucking businessman mode? Are we?
No, that's true. It's like we have jewelry and stuff too, but we hardly ever wear it, or we wear it like for shows and stuff like
or
that.
videos or shoots. Like, you get it to your persona, right?
I think sometimes like with the jewelry shit is that like it's a lot of time I'm either with my family or I got like one of the kids with me or I got, you know what I'm saying? I move like that. So like a lot of the times I don't wear my shit just for the fact of like fools. I don't want to put myself or my family in a position to where, something stupid happens or something. Yeah, bro. So like a lot of the times I'm just like, lately I just really don't really wear it no more, bro. Yeah. It's more of just like now it's like an investment, you know. Yeah. And gold right now.
My son wears a lot of my stuff now.
Gold's so fucking expensive now, bro, to where it's just like. Yeah. At the time I was buying jewelry, I think ounce was like maybe 1,500, 13 to 1,600 range. Now that shit's at like almost 3,000.
You look at a chain that used to be a couple $100, it's $3,000.
Yeah, bro. Like it's ridiculously high right now. Like this is like the worst time to buy jewelry. Like if you're looking into buying diamonds and gold, even diamonds right now with the tariffs.
Diamonds are real low,
right now with tariffs and everything going up, like fucking, because a lot of the diamonds come from like China and come from overseas. So even the diamond prices right now are like crazy. Looking hella crazy, bro. Like it's just. So this is not the time to
which is going to end up working out for you guys because you purchased them before, right?
Like you already got investment.
Right.
Yes,
that's why I said at this point right now it's just a good ass investment. Like
that's how I feel about vehicles, right? Like I purchase vehicles all the time. I promised myself I wasn't going to buy anymore, but I probably got.
You can't do that, dog.
I'm getting older, man. I just think that I'm gonna run out of time eventually.
Now the kids are gonna come and take it once they want it. They're gonna be like, that's mine, pops.
In a perfect world, bro, like if I had it, I would have a hangar or like a fucking 10-car garage that I could park 10 in and then have another 10 in the driveway.
Yeah, sure. It's like Jimmy. Have you seen like Jimmy Boy from Rancho? His shit, his collection is crazy.
That'd be like,
and he has literally like 3 garages that's just full, bro. Old schools in each one, and I'm just like, damn, he's got 30
the
30 of those.
Insurance is crazy. You know what I mean? Just everything. But
I see you whipping the old school. What do you got? What do you got?
So I drive I have a '64 Chevy Super Sport Impala that I've had for 18 years.
Are you selling it?
No, I'm gonna give it to my son. I already gave it to him. I told him was when he gets a spot that he can actually, like a garage, that he can actually keep it in the garage, leave it and have it protected, then he can take the car, you know?
Gotcha.
And I see you, he's not, you know, because obviously you put your life on it, but he's like your son's in the military, right?
Yeah, he was in the Air Force.
That's dope.
He was a remote pilot, so he flew the drones.
That's dope as
That's
fuck,
tight.
man.
That's tight. That's
So
tight.
the plan was, I said, look, if you graduate high school, I'll give you the car. You graduate college, I'll give you the title. Well, then he went into the Air Force, and I was like,
What else can I do?
I was like, all right, I guess you did that. So that's like college, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I added a rule on him, was like, well, you ain't going to go live in apartments, take the 6'4". They're just going to take it from you, bro.
Yeah, just leave it here.
Leave it here. Like, so that's what I got. And then we have a...
That's smart, though. You're not setting them up for failure, you know?
Right. And it's dangerous. You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah.
cruising around in an old school car is... I mean, it's not like it was back in the days, you know, as much, but it's a, like... You know, you're on point. You gotta look.
They were still thieving back in the day, bro. But I think it's even more recklessly now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking
kill your ass for that shit.
Oh,
you know?
for sure, bro. I mean, I remember many times being at the red light. Homies pull up next to me. They're like, "Hey, your taillight's out." Well, they're trying to get you to get out the car and look at your taillights while they jump in the driver's seat.
Car and shit, yeah.
Or bump you, you know what I mean?
Bro,
and
I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
I had a Chevy. I think I was 16 or 17, and I had a '94 Chevy, and I had it on 22-inch Daytons. But they weren't the real Daytons. But at that time, still Daytons.
They were spokes.
Yeah, and they had the chrome lip with the black spokes, so they were a little custom and shit, bro. And they fucking left my shit on bricks.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I had my shit. We lived in a cul-de-sac at that time. And I remember my shit was parked on the street. Like, it wasn't even parked in the fucking driveway, dog. I had my truck parked in where all they had to do is just fucking come in, back up, put my shit on the toe, fucking like
set up.
I made it easy for him. That was my own fault.
Because you think that nothing's going to happen. You
know
what I mean?
You said you had the Super Sport from our time.
And then we got a 1939 Chevy. It's called a coupe. So it's a little bomb. It's really a tribute because my wife's family's from Hollywood.
Yeah.
So 39th Avenue.
Yeah.
So they all...
Shout out Hollywood.
Yeah, my wife's... So my wife was like, look, a friend of ours was selling it, and then she's like, I want that car so that we, you know, kind of for like more like a tribute for, because all our brothers and everybody and sisters all from the neighborhood.
Oh, well, you know how it is, like, you know, you get one, Mama Bear's got to get one too. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's how they work. You know, you got to do it.
She looked way nicer than me.
You know what I'm saying? That's
and it's honestly, man, I love that car, bro. It's rad. It's three. You know, you're driving and you're operating. It has 4 pedals. Your starter's on the floor. You're shifting on the top. You're turning the steering wheel. You're popping the clutch.
Yeah,
you're
it's like a time machine, bro.
Sure.
No, like it is like with folks' car. We just went cruising and we went to the Owasso thing and we went to chill, but like it was like not a mission, but like you gotta let the car warm up and he started and it stops a little bit. You gotta start it again, and I'm like, man, I don't know if this low life's for me.
You gotta start with your little prayer.
Exactly.
Hey,
let's make it to the shop.
It's like an old person or old lady. You gotta caress it. You gotta talk to it a little bit, dog. You gotta
don't press so hard.
Make sure you take care of her and treat her gently and fucking, you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy too. Like, how much did you get your Super Sport for, if you don't mind me asking?
Back
in the day?
then I paid. I think I paid $15,000 for it.
And now they're like $100,000. Every fucking car you look at is like, I'm like $90K, $80K on the Cali Broken. But I'm saying they're working.
When I bought it for $50,000, all my friends were tripping because at that time they were only probably like 10 or 12 grand, but mine was all chrome, like all the chrome was on. Like, it wasn't polished, it was all done.
Yeah.
It was a full done car, and you know, like the guys who were making fun of me for buying it for $15,000, but they were driving $600 G-bodies.
Buy it off your shit now.
No, it's crazy because he's been an old school guy. I had one for a while, but he's always had an old car, but he's been trying to find them. So like he's my boy. So like if I see cars, just, hey, look at this one. Check, send it to him. But they're all $80K, $60K. He's like, man, I ain't got that much. Like I do, but no, I ain't spending all that right now. I want something for $30. He's like, I'm like, oh, that's how it works, man.
I got a 47 convertible as well. That's the one I'm going to try to break out with soon.
Hell yeah.
I bought it like maybe 5 years ago. I bought it knowing that I didn't really have the money to fix it up, but I was like, I'm gonna buy this. I know eventually I'm gonna come up.
I think a lot of car guys do that. Where as long as you got enough money to buy the car, we'll worry about the rest later. Dog. Let's just get that motherfucker in my garage. And once we get it there in my garage, if I have to get a fucking other job to start working on this motherfucker.
And I think when we were younger, like, you know, obviously because we always were like, I don't know if you, but Benzes and we like that shit. Now all our friends that were getting older, they all want old cars. Whether they're Seaton, and I think all of us want old cars. We're like, no, we're good with driving our normal cars, and we want the old school.
Because it goes the other way.
Now we want to take our kids on a Sunday to go cruise and do shit instead of like we're getting older now. You know what I'm saying?
Driving old school to church, you know, or something.
Go to church or do whatever you got to do.
That's what the 47 was. I said I'm gonna pick up my grandkids from school in that car.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take them to go get ice cream. That's gonna be Grandpa's car.
Exactly.
You know, we cruise around. I got a few other ones. I got a '79 Blazer. My mom's. I got a.
Even those are going for a lot. The Blazers, the
C10s, those are crazy, bro.
K5 or whatever.
I don't know if you guys, the fat boy from Fresh Cuts, bro. This dude's got $100,000 Blazers, bro. Full convertibles. I mean, they're just bad.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Let me ask you this. I remember you said in the beginning of the interview, you said that you worked on cars. So these old schools that you got, do you work on them yourself as far as like all the body work, all that shit? You do everything?
Yeah, we did. I haven't painted in a car in a long time. I painted my motorcycle.
Gotcha.
I patterned it out, did everything. But, I mean, now I think I'll probably end up painting the Impala and painting the 47 just because the price of paint and paint prison and
I think
it's
a good
crazy, bro.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like starting for like a really good paint job that's gonna last and done correctly with all the materials and all that, because I think a lot of people don't understand that like the reason paint jobs are so damn expensive because of you can't cut corners.
Yep.
Like starting from the Bondo and all that, like because you go through and you get cheap shit, or if you fucking do what's it called? You know what I'm saying? A year or two, couple down the line, your shit's cracking. Now your shit's fucking like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that being said, the whole point of that is that like 10,000 is like a base price, right? That's start.
Yeah.
See, and I was having this conversation with these like, dog, I'm gonna go get a paint job. It'd probably be like, I'm like, dog, you want a good paint job? You're gonna start at 10 grand.
If you're not gonna do that, just go to Earl Scheib. If you're not gonna do at least 10 grand, just go to a little pink corner spot and just go get it done.
And for those that don't know, the Earl and Scheib, that's like the fucking that's like your Mako, right? Your $1,000 your $2,000 paint job, like fucking.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. It's a lot of TLC when it goes in a lot of money. If people don't,
but like for the people that, like, for instance, like for my wife example, like she doesn't know, she's not a car person.
Right.
So like when I tell her that I'm going to invest $30,000 and buy this old school, she's like, I don't know if that. No, you don't know. That's the thing, is that like these cars fixed up, it might be 30, but this car could be potentially worth 70
for sure,
or 60
for sure.
And then not only that, 10 years from now, this car now from 30, even in the position that it sits in right now, is going to be worth 40 or maybe even 50. Like, because the shits are just going so crazy. Like when I bought my Impala at fucking 18 years old, I paid $4 grand for it. And something at that time, where right now the way that one's sitting shit, bro, at least 20.
Yeah, for
at
sure.
least 25. Guaranteed. Like, so it's like it's a good investment the way I look at it. Like,
it's like a bank account, really.
Yeah,
like that's how I look at them. You know what I mean? I pick them up. I have my hardest part is trying to hide them all and just find somewhere to put them. But I mean, in my mind, I'm just like, all right, 10 here, 20 over there, 15, 5, 2 grand. If I pick it up for 2 and I sell it for 4, I'm like, I made 100% profit.
Yeah.
Real shit. So it's a good investment, man. I'm trying to fucking talk my wife into the same shit. We're like,
you're listening to the episode. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know how it is, bro. I fucking, don't get me wrong. I could do it. I can go and buy it and show up and then not tell her and be, it's in the same shit. But you know how it is when you have wifey on your side and when you're going to make a move. It's always that much better,
I think you get to make a better, stronger move too.
Exactly.
Because you're not holding back, right? You're being transparent, and you're like with your partner or whoever it is, and you spoke, everything. So you're not. There's no like nothing holding back. Where I'm like, I'm not gonna go all in. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
Once you get to that point, then you can say, look, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is the longevity, and this is my plan. And when they understand that and they're with you,
Yep.
you're gonna get there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
most definitely. That's cool, man. That's tight. That's funny how you said I'm trying to put these cars over here because I'm in the same shit. I'm like, okay, so man, if I buy this old school right now, I'm gonna have to put it over here,
Where you
probably
gonna
at my
put it at?
dad's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to put it over here.
So I've been recently picking up BMX bikes, right? I like
Yeah.
the BMX 90s.
Like the Haros and
yeah,
what
yeah.
my boy, he likes that
Yep.
shit too.
GTs.
Yep.
You know, GT went out of business just recently too.
Yeah.
I bet you those bikes are. I bet you those like in that genre is going up too, right? Like especially with like the GT bikes, like you said, going out of business.
80s GT redone is $4,000.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for those that don't know, like those, that'd be what, like $300 back in the day when they were like,
200, even probably
Yeah,
less.
like probably $150. But
Yeah.
back then it was
Yep.
like in the 80s, $150 was
a
you know,
lot, yeah.
and that's all we rode. We had
Yeah.
GTs, Haros, Red Lines. Because my brother used to ride bikes. Like
Yep.
he used to race.
Haros
Yeah,
and shit,
he was
those
all
fat
like,
boys purchased
So
like
all
Diamondbacks, bro. I like
when we grew
Diamondbacks,
up,
yeah.
that's all we rode, bro.
Yeah.
Biking was life, bro. Like we'd
Yeah.
fucking out there jumping,
Well, that was
making
your
jumps, and
transportation,
the whole,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like
yep.
we were hopping on, we would take the bus, everything, and you
mobbing to the west.
Bro,
That's how it was.
Yeah, we just going all over the world on the bus and riding on your bikes, and in between each spot, it was just like your kids'
And
transportation.
then
you know?
us in Avondale, we were so small of a city that like we rode our bikes everywhere because we didn't have a bus. And like
Right.
the homies that lived in Phoenix, we got a ride from our parents or some shit. But we rode our bikes everywhere.
Right.
I lived like way over here on the north side, and my homie lived over here on the south side. We fucking I was still 20 minutes.
And I missed
My
those
Nina
times,
lived in
bro.
League- or
We'd be
Renata
like
lived in
7
League
deep.
and shit.
Yeah.
7 deep, dog. Looking, riding over to homie's house, getting him, then riding over here. Then we're at Sonic Park getting drinks and shit, you know, and then we're over here like that. That's
Yeah,
especially on the weekend, you
kids
know.
ain't
the
got it,
homie-
like, the kids don't know about that shit no more. Like my homie was saying that he's like, our kids are washed, man. I'm like, why? He's like, they don't know about those days, like about riding bikes and drinking out the water hose. And I'm like, yeah, but we sound like our parents. Our
Yeah.
parents used to tell us, like, you don't know about this kid. I'm like, I'm like, don't do that. He's like, no, I'm just being for real, man. I seen that shit. I seen it recently with the Easter Bunny. This lady made a video. She works like at Scottsdale Mall, and she did like a time lapse. And like the whole weekend, nobody went to see their Easter Bunny.
Right.
And like in our day, they were
Yeah.
like lined out. But everybody's like, oh, we're not putting our kid on a stranger's lap now
Yeah.
and shit. And the lady's
Yeah.
like, I think we're washed as a society because
Yeah, we
the kids
changed
don't even know the
crazy.
Easter Bunny or
Yeah.
like Santa Claus. If you don't,
Right.
like our parents, we knew all that shit. Or we knew
Nah,
what Easter was
I don't
for
think
church.
that it's
like,
washed.
you know?
I think that it's like too cool. Like things that we were doing that was cool nowadays to younger kids, it's not cool anymore.
Right.
It's not like,
Well, I think we
we're
give our
not going
kids
to
a
go
little
see the
say-so
Easter Bunny.
too,
Even
yeah.
like a fucking 12-year-old or a
Yeah.
10-year-old, I don't want to go see the Easter Bunny. Like,
Well, then even like my brother, he's a lot older than me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like when we were young, my mom was like, "Get in there, take a picture with your brother." My brother didn't want to take a picture, but he took that shit because
Yeah.
my dad probably whipped his ass. Like you know what I'm saying? So he'd be like, "Take the picture with the Easter." But like I seen that, and it kind of I was telling my mom that I'm like, it's kind of crazy because I don't think a lot of my nephews and them have necessarily went to go see Santa
Right.
and all that because
Right.
they're just chilling at home. They don't want to go do that. They're not asking to go to the mall anymore like we did. Like they shop at Amazon or on, hey, I just want this jersey, order it from me. All right, cool. Before we'd have to go to where do we Glass Cage,
Like
you know,
if
that
I-
shit
if
to
I
get
got
our
a hat,
shit. Yeah,
for
like
sure.
to do stuff now you can just all online.
People
What
are,
I-
they want to order everything and they want it instant. You know?
when I think of that, like that's the perfect example of what you said. Like for instance, like for Christmas, like my grandparents, they'd give me like a fucking Mervin's catalog, you know, and they're like, circle 3 things in here that you want or
Yeah.
something, you know, and it's like, nah, they got their phone, they want it, they
They're
got
already
an
sending it to
Amazon
you.
Prime list
Yeah.
and
They already
this
done
and
send
that.
their shit.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like it's too much,
Yeah.
almost in a sense. I feel like, you know, it's almost kills the excitement. It kills the like a lot of shit that like where we had advantage of and that made it so dope and so like
Yeah.
the coolness of it. It's like
It's not there no more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not, bro.
And then you
It's-
know the bad part too is the judgment, right? Like the kid is with his family, takes a picture of the Easter Bunny, and then it gets put on the internet, and then everybody attacks him for it, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
like I always say, like I was just trying to be the coolest guy in my school, but these kids got to be the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
hard
mean?
part, bro.
Like,
It is.
yeah.
It is. And
Like they just go in on them, man. It's crazy.
it's crazy times. I think you know what I mean.
I've always
It's-
said that though, bro. Like I have a love and hate relationship with social media. Like just lately, like I just find myself not drawn to it as much, you know. But also in the same sense of like still being an artist, still promoting a business, a brand, and all
Yeah.
that. You still got to do it, you know.
For sure.
So it's one of them. It's one of them things. But I feel like that's like social media ruined a lot of shit for a lot of people in a lot of different things, and just where I'm just like, and I notice it to where I'm just like, oh, I don't, you know.
Right. But it also gave a lot of us opportunity.
Yeah,
and exactly.
So that's for sure. It's like a hit or miss.
That's the balance.
And exactly, that's where I can't fully knock it, but at the same time, it's just one of them. You got to walk a fine line.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Chicano culture? I asked the other homie we did one with now, because we grew up around it, but we never wore the Dickies and the Dolmens and the high socks. We were never in like gangs in our city. Right. We hanging around with everybody in the gangs. Our cousin was, but we were just with some money making people. We just were like that. We were always doing that. How do you feel the new culture? Because either it's like a sock check and they're making fun of it, or they're going too hardcore with it and they're wearing the hairnets and stuff, which is they didn't do that before. How do you feel about the new?
I think my thought on it is, if nobody's doing it, it's just gonna go away, right? Like,
Got you.
Like the older dudes are mad at the young kids because they're like, hey, I had to beat up 5 people to wear my shirt, you know what I mean, or hang a rag out of my pocket or whatever.
Now you got all these kids doing this shit.
And then they're mad at them for it, but then I'm like, but then what happens if you punk them all away from doing it, then you're going to give them a hard time for wearing, chocolates and freaking, what are the Crocs and stuff. Then you're going to make fun from that. So you're never going to get away from it. I think that people, no matter what the culture is it's important to like just, do your thing, and it's all different vibes, like you can be whatever, rockabilly, gangster, however, and it's like that's the only way you're going to be able to protect them is people still doing it. You know what I mean?
And I feel like when we were starting out rapping, obviously, a couple first things we did that were big were always like the lowrider car shows. They put us on out of state. Yep. We were hella grateful for it. But then when we would do interviews, or they would say, "How do you feel as a Chicano rappers?"
Right.
And we would be like, "We're not Chicano rappers.
Right.
We're Mexican. Obviously, we are, but we're artists, rappers for the whole world. We're not just pertaining to Mexicans. Yeah. We're doing everybody. We make music for everybody, and it's kind of hard to adapt because either you get stuck in there or you got to like make it out of there and make it for everybody.
That's that's how I try to keep the brand where it just, because so many people, like, to some people, our slogan is build your dreams. To some people, that means getting a diploma, working out, becoming a journeyman, right? Yeah. And like from apprentice to a, so it reads in so many different ways, and I try to keep it like that. And same, like I get asked that probably the most. They're like, "Oh, you're big into the lowrider or a motorcycle," and I'm like, "No, we're just a brand." Like, yes, we use those because I am a collector and I enjoy.
That's what I love.
Yeah,
that's what I
enjoy
like.
It, right? Like vehicles and whatever they are, they're art, right? They're like paint and shine and pride and all these things that are in it. Yep. So I enjoy seeing people present them, and but it's like that's not exactly who we are. And going back to Las Calacas, like I know that, and you guys, like as artists, you guys go right, and you got your core group, like we're their core group. And they're used to seeing us at the shows, but I noticed that like they're getting their own crowd, and as I see them get their own crowd, I try to back off a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey man, yes, you still have the same amount of people here, but you guys got your own people. You don't need us anymore. This is now yours. This is your genre. This is what you created. Yeah. You take it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like
still support from the sideline.
Correct.
Yeah. Right.
Like I don't need to be the face of it. You don't need to have all my people here every single time. You guys created your own, and that's when and with me, right? Like having all my friends buy my shirts, I love it and I appreciate it and I love them so much for it. Thank you for supporting me always. But also I look like when I see the dude who's wearing the shirt that I knew, like the $80 sweater from the webpage, or the guy who doesn't know who I am, or I'm in the place and you know what I mean? Like I go, nobody, like my vision is nobody knows who the owner of Pepsi is, but we buy Pepsi because we like Pepsi. Right? So that's how I want my brand, not my brand, our brand, to be.
Shout out to Ziggy's Stardust Pin Bar. Shout out to both of them, man, and letting us do our thing here today and all that, man. I appreciate all that shit. I appreciate your time, bro, and letting us. I know you're a busy man. I know family man and all that. So
no, I feel like we get not say we get lucky, but there's like I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that have asked you to do these, and I feel like when we asked you, like, and I think I asked you like in October, hey bro, we got this shit going, whatever. Hey, Fee, say nothing less, just let me know. And then next week you hit me, and I'm like, hey bro, like my bad, we're going through a couple things, and now we're here, we're in April. But I ain't gonna lie, I fucking we really appreciate you because I'm pretty sure people do ask you, and I don't see you do a lot. So we appreciate your time and
I'm
everything,
a fan,
whatever, and we're
likewise,
vice versa, bro. Like I said, and like it's. we want to give you like your flowers, man. You
Right.
got, I feel like you were one that kind of paved the way a lot out here for some
sure.
for clothing brand for I don't even want to just say Mexicans, but for like our realm and our people that are
Yes.
kind of, you know, we all know the
Yeah.
same people out here. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's definitely dope. My hat's off to you and shit, and shout out to Working Class for always even supporting us, giving us clothes wearing or doing our shit. And
What's your Instagram? Just to let people know. Just for
It's Working Class Cultura.
Working Class Cultura.
Cultura. Yep.
All right,
At Working Class Cultura.
Follow us, AVP _G-Moe, AVP _Young Fee. Give us a follow. Go and check all the other episodes out. AvondaleProductions.com or Avondale Productions, YouTube /Avondale Productions. Go and check that shit out, man.
yes, sir.
So,
Thank you guys, man.
Appreciate
I
it, man.
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
man.
Cameraman did a great job.
Yeah,
Already,
man. Shout out my boy. Shout out.
Big dog. Hell yeah.